But wow, so that explains so much. If you look at,
They started playing faster.
Fast.
You know,
Elvis was on
the beat
stage
picked
humping
up.
air,
Yeah.
and you know what amphetamine make you do. You get
Exactly,
a little frisky. Like,
Yeah.
man, I'm up here singing. I'm finna gyrate. This air's
Yeah.
finna get it. Hey, dashed off. I can talk my ass off. Hey, Smokey, what you seen, and I'll tell you what I saw. Hollywood, what you think, and I'll tell you what I thought. And we can talk about it all when we here on Trash Talk. Hey. What's going on, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Trash Talkers podcast.
We made it.
We made it, Smoke.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy, Ro?
Man, everything. Life is okay.
It's football season.
It is.
Do we even want to talk about our Falcons?
Well, we did win a couple games. Not incredibly impressive, but we won.
We won. Oh, we did? No, we won one.
No, we won 2 in a row.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're on a streak. Now we got to play Tampa Bay and Tom Brady.
God.
We probably will not win that one.
Yeah, we won't talk too much about football, but if y'all know, Tom Brady screwed us in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Let us know what y'all's teams are.
Then he moved to our division just to torture us a little more.
100%.
Yes.
Let us know what y'all's favorite teams are.
Mm-hmm.
But no, anything happened interesting in the past week at all? Other than us, getting a great milestone?
Hey, we reached the milestone.
We did.
Yeah, that was probably the most interesting thing because
That was great.
we made it.
We made it.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go.
Absolutely.
I was thinking the other day, man, if when I put that message out, like, hey, let's start a podcast.
Yeah.
Just think if you were the one person to answer.
Dude, I had been thinking about it for so long.
And that's what you said.
I had told people left and right. And there's always those people you think like, oh, I'll hit up so-and-so. They'll be down to do it. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And then I'm like, okay, it's time to do it. No, I got stuff to do.
Did you think I was one of those people when I was like keep it real? Did you think like, oh, he's going to do it for 1 or 2 weeks?
Well, I started thinking everybody was like that. Like, that's why I responded when you put it out there, because I'm like, okay, so he's making the initiative. So maybe there's a better chance of it actually happening rather than me asking people and they're like, sure, I'll do it, and then never do it.
And y'all can go back and watch our very first podcast, or our very first because that was the very first thing me and Smokey did.
Yeah, we didn't even have video on that one.
Just podcasts, and
yeah, we just talked.
And within the first they were so unprofessional because and it was all my fault. It was
we didn't know what we were doing.
You want me to give them what happened that day? Like where you were just about to leave? Remember?
Oh, which one?
I mean, it's the podcast. We could tell. So when we first started, I'd had a few drinks.
Oh.
And we were down there. It was cold outside because we were recording right by my fireplace.
Yeah, that was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all can check out the first 2 or 3 podcasts, and they were terrible. We're just gonna remind you that now, or you might think it's great. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he had came over, and I was drinking and just not the Hollywood that you guys know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I threw up like 7 times.
You dang sure did.
I threw up like 7 times. I had to like pause it, edit that out, pause it, edit. Smokey's like, man, I'm about to leave, dude.
Yeah. There was one where I did leave.
Did you?
Yeah, when you kept nodding off.
Really?
Yeah, it was the serial killer podcast. I'm like, well, let me tell you about Dahmer, and you're like, okay.
I'm sorry, dude.
But I'll be like, he ate the bodies. You're like, wait, what did Dahmer do?
Yeah, and he was like, you know what?
I'm like, I'm out of here, bro.
Is that in the?
No, we had to re-record that one.
I
walked out on you.
I do, but look how far we've come, though, man.
Yeah. We finally got into a rhythm and
found our groove.
Pulled it together. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it literally, like, again, we can give out some personal things here being on the podcast, me and Smokey, so this is our timeline. I meet Smokey in high school, we record a bunch of music, I'm at his house more than probably any other rapper, and then, we go off and I'm still making music, he's still making music, but we're not doing it together.
Yeah.
And then things get in the way.
Well, there was a long run in between that you skipped over there, where we were making music, we were selling our music, pressing up CDs,
doing concerts,
doing shows. Yeah. Every little venue we could get into, we were playing.
Yes.
Eventually even took it on the road and started performing out of state.
Yes.
And, venues or festivals and
I was trying to be a little
shows.
humble, but
oh, okay.
I mean, you tell me to have a little humility.
I know.
I mean, but yes, we were. I will say in our area, we were probably one of the biggest rap groups, and now me and Smokey are the biggest YouTubers / rappers in
this area.
100%. But no, I mean, we went through that, and then we went our separate ways for a minute. We would still communicate. Smokey was still making music at his studio. I was making music at my studio, and then there was one point where Smokey wanted to literally take me out. I mean, literally wanted to take me out one day.
Yep. Well, we were both in a bad place in our lives, and we had a bad run-in with each other.
Yes.
And it went south.
I did some. Do we tell the story or?
Nah, let's don't go too far
right.
because
Yeah. But no, it got to the point where he's like, "Where's he at? Where's he at?" And it didn't. Thank God he didn't find me, because this wouldn't be a thing. But just know that me and you have come a long way, and
we reconciled and started making more music.
Yeah, we talked like men. We sat down. I apologized. He apologized, and we just went on.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here, man. It's like, just think about that, dude. Think about like so many things that have come between us, dude. And now look what we've got. A family, dude. We've got a family, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, and think about how many people we worked with back in those days. Because we weren't just like a couple of dudes doing rap together. We were a giant clique of rappers. Like literally everybody who could rap around, and some that couldn't. We would get them in there. Like we built this giant clique back in the day.
SHI, Southern Hustlers Incorporated.
And eventually everybody gives up at some point. People want to do entertainment. Everybody wants to do it. There's only a few people that actually have the dedication to devote a giant portion of their life to achieving that.
And there's a big message in that to anyone out there. Literally, and I know this is going to sound corny, but you can do whatever you want to do.
You really can.
I'm gonna give y'all the secret. Now, a lot of people, they won't tell you this, but here's the secret to do and gain whatever you want. Here's the secret. Don't tell anybody else. It's exclusive for the trash talkers. Just do it.
Yeah,
that's the secret.
It's simple.
Just do it. Do it every day, every night, and eventually you'll find your groove. You'll pick up things along the way, and the universe will present you with things to. It sees that you're doing it, and we're so grateful that we've continued to do it. And there's a lot of work that goes into this.
A lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort that we put into this, and I mean we've came across you guys, but
listen, there are thousands of podcasters, musicians,
reactors,
yes, any kind of entertainment. People want to make videos, people want to make YouTube videos, they want to make songs, and they will try it once, and if they don't get thousands of people responding to their first work, they give up after that. Like how many podcasts, if you go through your podcast app and you just start searching for random podcasts, you'll find ones that 1 episode from 8 years ago, 2 episodes from 5 years ago, and like they'll do it and then they don't get that response right away, so they give up. You're never going to get a response off of your first work.
No, you got to go.
No matter what you do.
There is the rare occasion where you can become viral off your first song.
You can.
Or your first video.
A lot of that's accidental as far as like viral videos and things like that.
That's the thing. I heard that I would say it's true that you can't really, you can't try to go viral. Like,
no, you can't. Yeah.
It's just
people
happens.
try all the time.
Yeah.
But it has to happen organically.
It's organic.
But if you're going to do something like podcasting or music or something like that, if you're not signed specifically by a huge label, which even those people who get signed by label, they're out there hustling their albums, they're performing shows before that record label will even notice they exist.
Yes.
No one just comes to your door, knocks on it, and says, "Hey, would you like to do some entertainment?" It doesn't happen that way.
You have to put the work in.
You have to go and do it, and don't give up.
That's it. I mean, and that's what we did, and we're continuing going. We're still learning as we go. We're still, we're picking up tidbits and bits of pieces from here and there and that and this, and we listen to you guys, and Smokey brings things, I brings things, I bring things, and we're gonna fumble. That's part of the journey. You're gonna fumble. You're gonna fall. You might hurt your leg. You're gonna get a scrape. But the key is to just keep going.
Yes.
You know, and look, we, like Smokey said when we did our unboxing video, the ceiling is infinite. It's infinite.
Yeah.
We're trying to go to the moon, and you can do it too as long as you just do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep, that's it, and just don't give up.
That's it.
Like the cat on the poster that's in every office.
Oh yeah, like at
hang
the
in there.
schools, like hang in there.
And that's gonna be like that on your journey too, where you feel like I'm just barely in this game right now. Like I'm just hanging on by that one claw that's left. But if you keep working, you'll get another claw up there, and then you'll get the other claw.
Just go.
And then eventually you can pull yourself up and see daylight above that wall.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so Reed, let's do our top 3 comments from the last podcast.
Let's do it.
So number 3 is from John Gillespie. He says the Violent Femmes are awesome. Growing up in the Chicago punk rock scene in the 80s, we knew about them being there for Milwaukee. Kiss Off and Added Up Live are good songs to check out. They are acoustic punk rock. And rapper Gnarls Barkley, shout out CeeLo Green, covered Gone Daddy Gone, which has a badass xylophone solo. Okay. Shout out John Gillespie. All right. Number 2 is, let's see, hold on.
Shout out to CeeLo, by the way.
For real.
That's amazing.
Dungeon Family, ATL legend.
Yeah.
Number 2 is from Mexican Headbanger. He says, I will give you a better number 1. The Beatles, one of the most influential bands in the world.
Yes.
They broke up after 7 years and 14 albums of output. While a lot of people blame Yoko Ono, which was John Lennon's wife, the band actually been creatively departing from each other for a while. John Lennon was stepping up a lot into the political world. George Harrison was getting a lot into spirituality and Indian music. Ringo Starr was getting into acting, and Paul McCartney wanted to keep the same energy going, but ultimately gave up trying to make things work and officially disbanded in 1969, a few months later after the release of their last studio album, Let It Be, which was actually recorded before Abbey Road, before it was released.
Dude, that reminds me of something, and I will say, yes, the Beatles probably should have been number one on that list. Why were they not? That's something Loudwire needs to look into there. But read the last one. I want to tell you about a group that I was just reading about that broke up.
Okay. Number one comment from our last podcast is from Randy Whistler. He says, never even heard of Witch Rot. And I'm a metalhead. Disappointed on the number 1 list. How they were number 1 over Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, the Beatles, and the Police totally confused me. By the way, that has 6 replies. Shout out Evil number 1, and Shan 5 replied to that. Shout out to you
Absolutely,
guys. Those are the top
man.
3
Like,
comments.
I agree with all of that. Like, why were... I don't know. I mean, I don't want to take away, because they might be a wonderful band. And it may have been something dramatic that happened, but as far as that synopsis they gave us, there's no reason they should have been number 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. But on Twitter, I follow this... do you want to... No? I follow this Twitter account that it's called Everything Georgia. Mm-hmm. And they put out a tweet about the Migos and said the Migos broke up.
Well, they did for a minute, but...
So, I forgot. Who was it? Wasn't Offset.
Quavo.
Was it? I forgot. I would have to look at the tweet again. But they said, so-and-so says that they broke up over a woman. I need to bring up this tweet.
No, you're good. I know exactly what it is. It was Takeoff.
Okay, so you already knew the story?
I know about it. It was Takeoff, and it was an interesting concept involving a woman, and they're all related. Mm-hmm. They're 2 cousins and an uncle, and so yes, they did. But I mean, I want to say something real quick. Mm-hmm. Like you said, they broke up, but the term "blood is thicker than water."
Yeah.
Okay, blood is thicker than water, but I heard someone say the dopest thing.
Yeah.
But water can save your life.
That's true.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was a dope one.
It can. It's tough though. I mean, really, like I guess that's what happened. A lot of people say that Yoko was a big factor of the Beatles breaking up.
It's crazy they weren't number 1 on that list.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Everybody's gonna have their relationships, but come on, you can't let a new relationship break up your success.
No, you can't.
Which John Lennon went on to have wonderful success outside the group.
I think all of them did.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But today's
Mm-hmm.
topic,
Yeah.
dude.
You want to talk about some genres?
Let's talk about some genres, and specifically,
Mm-hmm.
were certain substances, were certain enhancers. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Can I say the D word now?
Maybe. Well, just say substances.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're 15 minutes in, but
Yeah.
Okay, so substances. We're all adults here. Y'all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But did substances have an impact on some of these genres?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
That's the question.
Go
How much did certain substances play a part in actually fueling and creating and innovating certain genres? You know what I'm saying? Like, were there certain factors outside of just a natural course of action that this genre came about? Like, you know, and we don't know specifically which substances caused which genres, but it seems like it would play a part, right?
I think you could actually say what substances. I mean,
Well, you could take a guess.
yeah, I mean, like, let's think about this for a second. Like, okay, first of all, I would say music, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like the day someone hit a drum and a snap, or not even that. Just like let's go back to let's go back to Pangea, when when the human race just started in Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just hitting on drums. That's a form of music.
Mm-hmm.
Now there could have been some ayahuasca, maybe. There could have been something that was like, dude, hey, do that 1-2 thing again.
Yeah.
Oh man, do that again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like maybe. Then
I mean, there's no doubt that especially hallucinogens will make you feel music more than without them.
I will say that's probably the first substance,
Maybe it was the acacia bush
Acacia,
or whatever they were getting DMT
exactly,
from,
some sort of
peyote
DMT.
or something
Dude,
like
think
that.
Think about this. We to this day we have MJK Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
We did it in Tool's entire catalog, which Gary White, if you know, you know. I mean, does a lot of DMT inspired work. I mean, and when you, I mean, I won't go into me personal things, but you can just see, like, if you were under the influence of a DMT or some sort of hallucinogen, listening to Tool,
it makes more sense.
Pick a song.
Yeah.
Pick anyone. It's gonna make more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Trying to think though, what would be the original genre of music? What was the first genre? I mean, was it just tapping on something?
Yes, I think it was just drums, like African.
How do you figure out that strings also can add to those
this
drums?
is how it happens. Everybody's meeting at the fire. There's no Twitter. There's no Instagram. There's no YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So every Wednesday night, we just killed a local hog that we're finna feed this whole village. We got the fire going. Everyone's got their face paint on. You know, we sip this magical tea that comes from the gods, that some would say, which is probably an ayahuasca or some sort of ibogaine drink or what have you.
Yeah.
And maybe that first one was like, man, this food's good, my belly, and no one even knows what music is. And then someone like do.
Yeah.
And you're like,
it was probably even simple.
Yeah, it's like a native. And they're like, oh man, so now that's one Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, now we do. Hey man, do that thing again you did. Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Let's take our ayahuasca first. Do it. Hey, do it again, bro. How'd you do it?
Yeah.
All right, look. So I made this thing. Hey, all right, hold on. You remember we went on that wild hunt yesterday, and we got that zebra.
Yeah.
I took some of his strands of hair, and look now do
wound
it again.
them together.
Yeah. Now
yeah.
we're on. Do it again. Boom. You know what I'm talking about? That's how it happened. I would.
Yeah, I bet it was. Or
And
was
then
it just humming along with it too?
Yes. Oh, that actually might have been the first.
Yeah, because they're just.
No, not even that. Take away the drums. Like just.
Probably. Oh man, it probably was. They were probably doing a ritual or something.
Because
and then,
this is your original.
Yeah, they're probably doing their chants or whatever. And then eventually someone started making it kind of melodic.
So yes, you're right. They're adding some melody to it. So every Wednesday we're eating at the barbecue. They're doing a on that substance, and then like, man, that sounds good. But now do and then this other do Next thing you know, T.I. coming. Hey, shout, I just came in the truck like this one time. You know what I'm talking
T.I. just walks up in this Aboriginal setting. Let me show you how to do
how
this,
does he do that? This dude holds his hat like, I mean, he barely keeps it on his head.
Like that.
It's like barely on his head. I don't know, but no, absolutely, man. Substances. And, okay, so that's from the beginning. Now let's fast forward a few, maybe millions, thousands of years, what have you. Now let's take a genre like what do you say comes first? Blues.
Yeah,
What's the biggest mainstream music to start? You think?
At the very beginning of the settling of America.
Yes.
Well, I think it was probably folk, like Irish folk, Scotch Irish folk. Well, I guess really whatever the Englanders brought over. But then again, there were natives here also already doing their forms.
And again, of course, we know for a fact that substances were involved during those
like
rituals.
Peyote and
peyote,
such,
exactly.
Yeah, and they had the war drums. And, that's where that
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great music, and even today, dude, like that just shows you that music is timeless. You can go to these places and just listen to the natives and just listen to their naturals, and you're still gonna get that feeling like, dude, this is great. It's
so the 1900s come about. And they're figuring out ways to start recording music, because then it had only been played live for anyone who could listen, but they're figuring out how to record music. So then the blues, the Delta blues down in the South and all the way up to Mississippi, even into Chicago. So that Delta blues started spreading throughout the country. And they kind of figured if we could put like a driving beat behind this, we have a whole new style that hadn't been done before.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden you got rock and roll.
Well, hold on. Let's not skip the Delta blues first. Now
Okay.
let's talk about the substance that was equated with that. I already know.
Oh, alcohol.
Really?
Yes. What do you think?
Weed.
I don't know that it was as
because like
prevalent
the
then.
jazz, like that was during like the jazz area, right?
Yeah, jazz and blues were hitting off around the same time.
I-
Jazz kind of out of New Orleans, and I mean,
I would say it'd be alcohol and marijuana.
they were coexisting, definitely.
I would say that's like, because you're sitting there and you're getting these real, deep songs with these deep lyrics with these great, just feel to it. And you add a shot of whiskey on it, or a shot of old Smokey's Barrel over there,
Yeah.
and a little bit of Hollywood's green stuff, and now you got that. Does that influence the way the music is made? And I think
absolutely,
so.
yeah.
I mean, here's the question though: does it make it better? Does not the person listening, but the people who make it? If you're under the influence.
Well, for a lot it has, yes.
Yes, 100.
I mean, look at the grunge scene if you want to figure that out.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
See, we'll get to that too. Okay, so all right, you said Mississippi blues and jazz. Okay, now what's next? Alcohol and marijuana was that. What was the next big thing?
After the blues and jazz came rock and roll.
Okay. I will still say alcohol and marijuana.
I mean, but the rock and roll was kind of born out of a mix of blues, jazz, and funk. Folk. Folk. Funk came a little later.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. But no. I mean, again, I think.
So I think if you look at Sun Records and the stories they tell, Amphetamines had a lot to do with that.
In what years are we talking here?
Oh, we're talking 50s.
Amphetamines.
Yes. Yep.
How?
Dude, you gotta watch Walk the Line.
Wait a minute. You said what year? 50s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they were, because this was like right after World War II, right?
This was Memphis, man.
What does that have to do with amphetamines?
Dude, because that's where Sun Records and the rock grew out of. Well, I guess at least for that section of rock, they were taking basically like a country hillbilly bluegrass and mixing it with the style that Chuck Berry and those guys were doing, which kind of grew out of the doo-wop scene and the blues scenes,
Right.
And they came up with, the style that a lot of people attribute to being the first rock and roll style.
Like Elvis.
Yeah.
Ain't
Elvis,
nothing but a hound dog.
Elvis, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, even Buddy Holly came out of there eventually.
So now tie this into amphetamines.
Well, they were all doing it.
Elvis was on it?
Yes.
Elvis
introduced Johnny Cash to amphetamines.
What?
Yeah. See, that's why Johnny Cash got arrested, coming back from Mexico, buying those amphetamines down in Mexico.
Selling them to damn Elvis.
Yeah.
That's why he was gyrating his hips this whole damn time.
See,
He was geeked up.
at least how Walk the
Elvis
Line
was
tells it.
geeked up.
So they started going on tours, right? And they were doing like car tours back then. They didn't even have van tours yet. But so they get to one of the towns one night, like Tupelo, Mississippi or something. And Johnny's like, man, I am so tired. How are we going to perform a set? We've been driving all night. And he's like, well, I got something for you.
Wait, who said that? You said Elvis.
One of Elvis's guys.
Okay, so you said Johnny, but Elvis.
Yeah, well, I'm saying Johnny was the one that got introduced to it by.
No, you said Johnny was, oh, I'm tired. How am I going to do that? But
Yeah,
you meant
yeah.
Elvis. Right?
No, Johnny went to one of Elvis's guys. And this is the way Walk the Line tells it in the movie. So Johnny goes to one of Elvis's guys, like the bass player or whatever it was. And he was like, man, I'm so worn out. You know, I can't really do the show tonight. Like, I'm just tired. And he was like, here, take this. You'll be able to perform this show. And then you'll be ready to drive to the next town and perform the next one without stopping, without sleeping. So he pops those down and...
Oh, they were pill for him.
Yeah. Yeah, these are amphetamine pills.
So this was like, from when I hear amphetamine, I'm thinking of...
No, you're thinking about just the new area synthesized.
Yeah, well, no. So what? So you're talking like Adderall, like...
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, it was amphetamines, yeah.
I mean, okay.
It was before it was methylized, you know, before it became meth. Yeah, the word you can't say on YouTube, apparently.
But, wow, so that explains so much if you look at... Man,
they started playing faster. You know,
Elvis was on
the beat
stage
picked
humping
up.
air.
Yeah.
And you know what amphetamine make you do? You get
Exactly,
a little frisky. Like,
Yeah.
man, I'm up here singing. I'm finna gyrate. This air's
Yeah.
finna get it.
So then, after that, you got the influence of the English guys and the boy bands, you know, that era's boy bands. Yeah, the
Eagles.
Beatles, the Stones.
I mean, or not the Stones. Beatles, Stones,
Yeah,
Zombies.
we talked about the Animals and the Zombies.
Yes, Floyd.
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
Well, Floyd was a little more in the psychedelic blues era.
Well, see, okay, so I think Floyd started in the 50s.
Really?
I think. Yes.
Dang, you taught me something there.
I'm pretty sure. Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
But see, so that era I think was fueled by amphetamines and maybe the other white
I'm
stuff.
sorry, 64. I apologize. But go ahead.
So that era was fueled by the amphetamines and maybe even the white stuff too. But
I don't think.
eventually they introduced the hallucinogens to it.
Okay, I'm going to I can't disagree or agree with you, but I don't know if the white stuff, definitely the amphetamine, but the white, and we're talking to because think about it, the white stuff.
If they're going down to Mexico to get those amphetamines, they could probably pick up some other stuff.
Yes,
while they're
I
down
get you,
there.
but we're talking about the British acts here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Because there's not really much you can get over there, so that's when. Yes, I mean maybe I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
But you take. That's when I think now music went from this fast upbeat. Now everyone's taking, these hallucinogens. Hey,
Yeah.
LSD.
And that's when they started reintroducing the blues to it, and you have like Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. It's like this mix of soul and blues on top of rock and roll. And you got the psychedelic blues movement.
Yes. I mean, they literally call it psychedelic blues for a reason.
Yes. So we can definitely point to psychedelic blues and say that was fueled by hallucinogens.
Yes.
Yes.
100%. Now, here's the thing, though. Marijuana is classified as a hallucinogen. So
I think, it may be that marijuana just played its part in music
in
the entire way
yes,
through.
I think it was there from day one.
Yes.
I mean, because think about it. Like,
Maybe so.
Dude, I heard a story like back in the old days, like in like the 1500s. In Catholic churches when the guy carries that thing that swings, but they said that was filled with like hemp, and it would, or that's what I heard. I don't know if that's what I'm talking about, the white smoke.
Yeah,
thing?
I've seen it before. Yeah.
Yeah, they said it was like hemp or pieces of, or the marijuana plant, and it was like a ritual thing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how correct that is, but I heard that, or I heard that somewhere. I can't remember, but I would say yes. Weed played a part from point A to point to now.
So we may be the biggest culprit out of this whole thing.
But
as driving music genres.
And this is again, I listen. I'm all for. I don't know where y'all are at, but marijuana is illegal down here, and I'm all for it, man. Because
Well, you can get certain kinds of marijuana in all 50 states.
yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't got no dispensaries here. We ain't got none of that. But what I'm saying is if that just adds more to why, hey, like, think about someone who's just anti-weed. Like, no, I don't want it. Okay, tell me your favorite song. Guaranteed it was somehow influenced by that. Like, it's just something else that shows.
Well, even like I'm sure if they name a Christian artist, well, that person's probably clean.
Bro, I swear I was about to bring that up. What substance can you add to Christian music? What
God.
Oh, God.
The religion is their drug.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guarantee you can go to some churches and people get absolutely intoxicated on the word of God.
Dude, there are people who talk tongues.
Yes.
That's the best.
Absolutely. I've been in one of those
We're
churches.
from the
I've
South,
seen it firsthand.
I've seen people fall out on the floor shaking.
Yes.
Like they had an OD.
Oh, dude, I've seen them run around the entire church screaming. Just screaming at the top of their lungs, running as fast as they can.
Speaking of
absolutely intoxicated on that religion.
What if that's because me and you really aren't in touch with that type or of that type of lifestyle?
Yeah.
What if that is like the best drug and we just don't know it and we find it?
Well, that's the thing. When I went to this church, I wanted to see that firsthand. I wanted to see that because they did the talking in tongues. This was like a church that was only one step away from serpent handling.
Oh, wow.
You know, the Salvation on Sand Mountain type people where they walk in with the poisonous snakes or venomous snakes, and you know you're supposed to handle it without getting bit. Yeah. You know, to prove that God has got your back.
You're worthy.
So we're only one step away from that, and these people, they go into a trance. They start playing their music. You know, they'll get on that guitar and start cranking away. You know, and singing. You know, their old timey songs that they do, and these people just go back, and then they start shaking. The eyes are closed, and then they just start feeling it, and then all of a sudden God is in them, and they take off. Like they will run, they will fall on the floor, they will convulse, and they might be having the best trip that anyone's ever had.
What if that? All right, so is that legitimate, or is that? Do you think those people who are having those experiments is that a experience? Is that a front? Or is that like they are actually...
Well, I'm sure there's a certain element to where people see the others do it and they want to be a part of that because they see their friends and family are able to do it. And so
I want to try it. That's the thing with like
so there is probably some fronting, but I think there are absolutely those that spill that DMT pot inside their head because they have gotten so far into this. You know, it's like a mantra or a
I mean like even
what's the word I'm looking
meditation.
For? Meditation. It's like a meditation to where you can get so deep without a substance. You can just use the substances inside your brain to reach that point, and I think that's what they're doing.
Dude, all right. So here's the thing. Like, we've had our days with substances. Now let's say that we've had some good ones, have some bad ones, but the one that we've never had was that God substance.
Man,
dude,
I tried though. Like I got there,
no, but I think you have to.
There was too much skepticism on my end, to be able to reach that point.
If you had an open,
but I wanted to feel what they were feeling.
If you had an open mind and an open, you're like, I want to, like, just take me, and then you start. Smokey's gonna go to church this Sunday, and he's gonna come in here and be like, just want to say all hail the Father, and I'm like, dude, this is not my dog. Smokey only wears white. He's gonna come in here in all white one day with a robe, and he's like, dude, I felt it, and he's like, it's addictive, but you're right, that might just be.
Dude, I want to know what they see when they get there.
God.
They're out of body. They're absolutely out of body, and their body is doing some crazy things in that church.
Okay, so that's Christian music. No,
yeah,
we were on the psychedelic. So again, it's just crazy that I hate to go back to. I mean, it's just what if the best psychedelic, the best drug,
is the Holy Ghost?
Is God, the Holy? I
think that's what they say
Father,
when they say
Son,
the Holy
Ghost.
Spirit. That Holy Ghost is that's feeling that enters you.
So what
and
about?
I think scientifically, it's probably a DMT rush.
I mean, yes, if you had to scientifically break it down, with everyone having, again, DMT is endogenous. So having that, and if you can, like you said, with meditation, mantras, and chants, and believing, there probably is a way to just unlock it, especially when you're around like a big congregation of people, and you got someone that's, it's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
I just feel it, and you're like, oh, well, like it's almost like an orgasm.
Yes,
you're like, oh, it's
exactly.
gonna,
Yeah.
Bow.
Dude, and I wanted to because I saw them and I saw how blissful they were and how they were just soaking it in. And
Let's
I'm
go
like,
to church this
I want
Sunday.
to feel that.
Let's go to church this Sunday. Let's see if we can.
Dude,
And look, let's just say
I don't think you can because
I know.
it's kind of like meditation,
Yes.
like New Age, all this New Age speak. If you have to let go of your ego, you have to have no skepticism whatsoever to reach that point. And I think it's the same way in that church. If you want to get to that point where you're talking in tongues and having convulsions, you have to have no skepticism. You have to completely disconnect from what is real life right in front of you and enter this crazy place that they have found.
It's so crazy you just said that. So you said you have to be free of ego.
Yes.
Okay, people who have done DMT. But when you get to that, this is non-existent.
Yes.
This you're not on Earth.
Yes, you can't get there until you disconnect from the body.
What's crazy, when I was, or a lot of people say when they're there,
Yes.
they're terrified. But once they realize, let your ego go, it's the most calm, blissful thing you could
it's
ever
calm,
imagine.
it's beautiful, you see the greatest colors,
It's
you
even,
start,
you can't even put in words on it.
you don't even have to speak. You get a transmission from this gathering of energy that is out there somewhere that is beaming directly into your brain.
All right, we're going off.
Yeah. I mean, okay, genres of music.
No, I mean, we can keep going if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
I mean, I get carried away.
No.
sometimes.
This is what the whole point of this is. Is like, I mean, it could be. I don't know, but with the hallucinogens, that's probably why the Beatles were one of the biggest bands on Earth. That's why probably.
I think the Beatles though, they blew up before they were introduced to the hallucinogens.
Well, would you? Okay, well, I was gonna make a point to where you had said, having that Holy Ghost releases the psychedelic DMT experience. Now, that being if some people could say one of the best high. Now, if you introduce an actual, instead of you getting there through mantras and meditation and prayer, you can actually smoke something
or music just itself.
Yeah, you take that and then you introduce the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Pink Floyd, stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is why these people are on the top of the world, because they're making music that releases.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
about? Dude, I've been in the flow state, in this transcendental state on stage, like to where you just get, whether it's DMT or whatever causes it, but you get in this zone where you can't do anything wrong. And everything, the music is just flowing out of you. Like, I was literally watching the words come out of these giant speakers on the side of the stage and falling out and landing on top of the people.
That's DMT.
Like, every word I would say, I could see it fly right out of the speaker and fall on top of the people.
Oh.
Yes, yeah, it was crazy. I was literally watching the words fly out of the speaker and settle on the people, and they were all soaking it in.
So, well, that just shows you how, again, the power of music, and the power of the human brain, because you going through that flow state, it emitted something that other people can feel.
Yes.
Something you physically wrote
yes.
down. Something that you physically felt you saw or felt this come out of the speaker and emit this energy that you felt onto them. That's crazy. And you can now bring in, all right, let's go further. Psychedelic rock. What's next? What's the next big thing?
Well, metal.
No, I'd say alternative. Like,
no,
grunge.
Alternative was after
metal. You're right. Like Sabbath.
Yeah, Sabbath came along and changed the game.
What drugs influenced metal?
Everything.
Have you seen Ozzy Osbourne?
Metal is everything, man.
Have you seen Ozzy? He's like, bro, just give it to me, I'll take it.
Yes.
I mean, we're not just pointing Ozzy here, but okay, what are the big bands during Black Sabbath? What you got? Black Sabbath,
Iron Maiden, Judas Priest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a little pre-thrash. So
I can't wait till we get to like the 80s because like Twisted Sister, like
Oh,
obviously,
yeah.
you know, but
glam, yeah. Well, I think we got a good idea what fueled glam
100%,
rock.
100%. But before we get there, all right. So, all right, we talked about the 50s and jazz and folk and blues being amphetamines.
Yeah.
Then, and first of all, weed having an effect on all this, and then it switches over to what was after we went to that? Was it the psychedelic movement, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got amphetamines, marijuana. Now you got your hallucinogens, psychedelics.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 3. Now you got 50s or 40s, 50s, 50s, 60s, 70s is when Black Sabbath. So now you
Yeah.
take these 4 drugs here, give them all to the 4th generation.
Yeah.
Give me the psychedelics. Give me the weed.
At least that's what Ozzy. We can't say that all of them were doing all of them, but we know Ozzy has testified that
Yes.
he's given the testament that he has done those.
And Black Sabbath was one of the biggest bands out there.
yeah,
And we're
and they invented a whole new genre.
yeah. But are they the inventors of metal? Is Black Sabbath the inventor?
Everybody gives them the credit for it. If there is a band who did metal before that, I know a lot of people try to, they'll say Helter Skelter by the Beatles. Yeah. But some people credit that to being the first heavy metal song. But as far as being a heavy metal band, from all that I've heard, it's Black Sabbath.
I mean,
they
just
invented the genre.
Listen to, and then what with the substances and the things that they were taking while making this music? What made them go to the dark side and say, let's be called Black Sabbath? I mean, I think that's a cool, like a mix between doing so many things. It's like, man, let's just do what's not what everyone's wanting to be this. Oh, pretty little boy band. All the girls love me. Okay, y'all got that.
And then they come along like, we're gonna show you the dark side of life.
And we're gonna talk about because y'all ain't talking about the drugs y'all doing. Y'all ain't talking about the things that y'all are doing when y'all leave the band or before you get on the show. But guess what? We are. We're just gonna do it subliminally. Do you think Black Sabbath?
But they didn't glorify it though. That's the crazy thing about Ozzy and Black Sabbath. They didn't glorify it. They just pointed it out. They weren't going out there and say, "Hey, everybody, hell Satan, worship Satan." No, they're saying there are evil in this world, and we're just talking about it.
Right.
And we're just pointing out that this stuff exists.
Okay. So after that, now we're like in the 70s. Now we got Led Zeppelins and
No, Led Zeppelin was part of the psychedelic blues movement also.
Okay, you're right.
It was going on simultaneously.
Yeah.
But that started happening in the mid to late 60s.
Okay.
And all those artists ran through the 70s.
And you have to think about it. If you really want to look at it, metal is probably the earliest one that's still sticking around. Do we like? I'm talking mainstream, like played on
mainstream. Yeah,
like
because there's still a few psychedelic blues bands out there.
But,
there's blues artists. There's all kinds of
First
stuff.
of all, there's everything. Anything you guys want to find. There's pencil tapping music. Whatever you want to find, is out there. But metal was probably one of the ones that's like, hey, we're a staple now. We're going to be here
genre.
forever.
Yes.
And they have been.
Yeah, and
Now we go into now we're in the 70s, like the disco.
Disco. Oh man.
It's again.
I think there was a lot of blow in disco.
Yes, blow and amphetamines, I'd say. And again, weed is still there.
Yeah, I mean, what gets you to dance all night?
Oh, but what if like ecstasy? Well, that's a form of.
Well, that came along in the 90s, but that's a form of amphetamines.
Yes. Okay. So disco, I mean, everybody's out. Oh yeah, 100%. 70s.
Yeah, that's been documented in documentaries.
Okay, now let's go to the 80s. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm. New wave.
Well, no, yeah, but I'm talking like Rick James, like Prince,
yeah.
But now they're definitely blow. But now you put a little bit of baking soda with it.
Yeah,
now,
that played a part too. And some people say without the crack epidemic,
we wouldn't have.
We wouldn't have NWA and gangster rap.
That is a terrible thing to say, but it's so truthful. Mm-hmm. It's so truthful because Rick James, dude. If y'all haven't seen Dave Chappelle's, Rick James was out there, okay, and for him to take everything
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Rest in peace, because Rick James is a freaking legend. But in the 80s, I mean, a lot of people were doing these substances and having a good times. And then when you go to like the early 90s, late 80s, the crack epidemic was still there,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're getting more raw. You're getting more, and you're kind of getting the opposite too. Because look at it, you had androgynous people like in the '80s, like Duran Duran in the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got these guys that aren't. They don't look. I mean, they're
I
dressing.
think androgyny hit big with the glam metal.
Which is '80s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's what I'm
hair
saying.
metal, yeah.
So '80s, you got some people's like, hey, I want to be polar opposite, like Black Sabbath did with the Beatles. Like, hey, we're gonna do something totally different. So we got this psychedelic move. Like what would you even call '80s? Like new wave, I guess you would
Well,
say.
new wave was the mainstream. That was the pop section that was hitting off. You know, it was the softer side of rock.
What I'm saying is something happened between the 80s and 90s where men were dressing more androgynous, but at the same time you got hardcore rap. Yeah.
Well, I think the problem is once you get to the 80s, these genres just started going in so many different directions that it's hard to follow at that point. And you can't really pin down because the substances were so abundant by that
available.
time. Yeah, that each genre could have been fueled by several different substances.
Yeah, so I will say from the 80s and above, like 90s, 2000s, everything that we mentioned, beforehand was all a part of music at that time. You know what I'm talking about? Now, if we go, I'm speaking just from a hip hop point of view, not even hip hop. Like, I'm sure some metalheads, I'm sure some rappers do it, but if we're talking about like 2000s or 2010s to 2020s, now we're talking about lean. We're talking about perks and tabs and
opiates fueled the hip hop scene from about 2001 on.
I would say not more than just hip hop. I'd say
of course, yeah.
I mean,
There's a lot of genres. That's what I'm saying. Like, it became so abundant, so many different substances became so abundant that all genres had all different substances mixed in, and little tiny variations, subgenres, because of the certain things that were introduced.
So here's the question. It's so bad to say this, but drugs are bad. Okay, but we got great music from a bad thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and well, we spoke on it earlier too. That the opiates fueled the grunge scene.
Yes, I mean, and why? I know I've asked this before, but why are so many good, prevalent, big grunge artists from Seattle, and why is that one state recognized for just grunge and heroin?
Well, every scene takes off from one section, I mean, there were grunge artists. Smashing Pumpkins were from Chicago, and
but
there were grunge artists from Atlanta.
Cool.
But I can't remember. We actually talked about.
But Seattle started that, right? And
that's where the scene grew out of. Yes.
So the heroin was big there.
Yeah.
So let's say you said Smashing Pumpkins was from Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you think they indulged in the H?
I don't know. I really don't know because Billy Corgan seems like more
he seems
a cleaner guy. I don't know. I don't know the story, so I can't speak on it.
Okay, now the ones in Atlanta, we're talking 90s, mid-90s, right? Did they influence with the H? I'm sure they did. Because if you go back to the root,
there was some H floating around Atlanta. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's just, what I'm asking is we've got great music through bad drugs.
Yes.
Is that bad to say? Is that bad to say that people have died, people have OD'd, people have been addicted, people have gone through crazy things for our enjoyment?
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Is it bad that they died? Yes.
Is it bad? It can be that thing that you say, you laugh at my pain.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, depression fuels a lot of music. It's not always just, there's a lot of straight edge artists out there too.
Who's the biggest straight edge artist you think ever?
I think Henry Rollins myself. I'm sure there's some that I didn't even know were straight edge though.
Give me a song Henry Rollins sings.
I'm a liar, a liar, a liar.
Oh, that's straight edge as it gets, dude. I think your song's talking about I'm a lie. That's as straight edge as it gets.
Yeah.
I have no song with
That'd be crazy if he's like, I'm a liar, guys. I was actually doing it the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how straight edge it was. He was actually lying about it.
Yeah. I think he was just talking about people being manipulative and stuff
We'll have to check that song out.
Yeah.
What year was what era is this?
No, that was in the 90s.
Alternative.
That was after he left Black Flag and went solo, and it was the Henry Rollins band.
Excuse me. Henry Rollins. We're gonna have to check out some Henry Rollins.
Yeah, I like Henry Rollins, man. I know he's a polarizing guy, and a lot of people talk bad about him, but I like Henry Rollins. He's a smart dude. I mean, yeah, he's introverted, and he likes to be alone. And,
nothing wrong with that.
Doesn't get along with a lot of people, but he's got a lot of good information, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with that at all.
No, I definitely relate to it.
Whew, all right, man. Smoked out.
Yeah.
Let's get into some OMG. Are we doing them?
No OMG today. I didn't have a good Georgia story.
But we got a WTF?
We got a WTF.
Again, WTF to everyone new here. It's not it's what the Florida.
What the Florida. So, I'm going to give you 2 cities and 2 headlines.
Okay.
You're going to tell me which headline came from which city.
First of all, I've only gotten one right.
Out of like 8.
Okay, so let's say I'm 1 for 8. All right. Come on, let's see if I can go 2 for 9 here.
All right. First headline says.
Wait, would it be 2 for 8 or 2 for 9? If I get this right.
This would be 2 for 9.
All right, let's see if I can go 2 for 9. Come on.
Man hit dad in the face with a pizza after learning he helped deliver him.
Wait, what? Say that again. Say that again.
Man hit his dad in the face with a pizza after learning he helped deliver him.
Like during birth?
I'm thinking that's what they're saying.
What the? Okay, go ahead. First of all, you deliver pizzas, so it's like I'm gonna hit you because you delivered me with a pizza. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to deliver me? You want just give me a second? I'm gonna put this in 350 degrees. Put it on. You want to deliver me? How about a delivery?
How about that delivery?
Exactly.
All right. 6 women in neon green leotards attack 2 subway riders.
Just take out a word there.
Yes. I didn't want to give it away.
Oh, yes.
I don't want to give it away.
So 6 women in green
leotards attack 2 riders on a subway.
Okay. Just because Florida man, I'm gonna say the man. Come on, dude. You don't want to be 2 for 9 here. The man threw the pizza is from Florida, and the girls in the leotard are from a different place. Please tell me I'm right.
You're right.
Oh, 2 for 9. All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's start with
this. Is crazy.
Florida man hit dad in the face with a pizza after learning he helped deliver him. Police say.
I need to hear what the delivery is.
Florida man who found out his father helped deliver him when he was born inexplicably smashed hot pizza in the older man's face upon learning the news.
Oh my God. Just imagine. Go ahead.
He's from Holiday, and he is being charged with domestic battery, according to the Pasco County jail records. He remained in the county. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't even give why.
Well, you said because he found out.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like it doesn't go into detail as why is that a bad thing.
Just imagine this. Imagine you're at home with your dad, and you're like. Okay, let's say this kid's is 19. Well, 19 technically you're an adult, or 21. Let's say he's 21, and he's like, Dad's like, boy, go pee outside in the woods. It's like I done seen that thing before, and he's like, what do you mean you've seen this before? It's like I delivered you at birth. You saw.
You did it.
You. It's like you saw my. And it's like, dude, you're. I mean, that's the only logical thing I can think of is like it's a mental illness to where he's like.
Yeah, I wonder if it's an estranged father, and I don't know, like. He's mad that he was there to deliver him and not later?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a crazy headline, though. All right. Do you need to send messages or you want to hear this story?
You're good. Go ahead.
You're over there texting people in the middle of the show. Sorry. 2 women were attacked early Sunday morning on a New York City subway by a mysterious group of women in neon green full body suits.
So can I see what the thing you took out? The word you took out.
Oh, it's New York. That's why I didn't want to say
you
New
don't want
York.
to. Oh, I thought it was something else. Okay.
Yeah. A video of the assault shared on social media shows the group, which has been called the Green Goblin Gang by local media.
Can I be a part of the Green Goblin Gang?
punching and tossing two 19-year-old women on a subway train near Times Square around 2 a.m.
Never mind. I don't want to be part of
The
this.
assailants escaped the scene with a cell phone and a handbag.
Wait a minute. So, where'd you just read? God dang it, sorry. You said a video assault shared on social media shows a group which has been called the Green. Punching and tossing So 6 women.
I think this was like a beef.
But 6 women attacked another.
Yes, 6 women dressed up in green bodysuits to go attack these other 2 women. I think this was probably targeted. Like they probably knew those 2 women they attacked. Either that or they were just out on a robbing spree. But 6 women purposefully attacked 2 women. They weren't like they were just marauding the entire subway.
It's like they were, yeah.
It looks to me from this that they knew who those 2 people were and went straight for them.
Why the green leotards? What's that about?
Anonymity, I guess, so they didn't get caught.
A leotard is the things like
wrestlers. Oh, these are full bodysuits. These are like morph suits.
Oh, like the... Okay, so those aren't really leotards. Those are like...
These are like morph suits.
Dude, this is like a joke or something, I'm thinking.
Well, I guess it went
First of all, that's
over
terrifying.
over the line when they started beating the hell out of these people.
And they were charged, right?
No, they escaped the scene.
Yeah, because of the anonymity with the green suits.
I guess they never found them, yeah.
Wow. This was New York, huh?
Yes.
You know what? They say that I have heard that some people say that the craziest people come from Florida and New York.
I've heard Ohio, too.
Yeah?
I've heard Bavaria and Germany.
Well, I'm talking United States. Why Bavaria?
Yeah. I don't know, but I've been told that Bavaria is the equivalent to Florida. Yeah.
We might have to do some...
That's what our German friends said.
Oh, shout out to Alex and JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. We went from talking about music to substances to pizza deliveries thrown at your dad to women in green leotards.
Yep.
Wowzers.
I just do want to say that we do realize there are a lot of artists out there who probably didn't use drugs at all.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. But we're not saying that every artist used drugs.
No. But we're saying every genre was influenced.
Probably sparked by a certain substance.
That's what we're saying. Every genre was probably... No, I'm going to say... Would you definite that? Would you say every genre was influenced by drugs?
Like Christian and things like that.
You said God was a drug?
Yeah. I mean, some people are not going to classify that as a drug, but...
And I know you're not the type of person to say, yes, but think about it.
No, you can't say affirmatively 100%, but I think a great deal of them, yes.
Okay. This was a good one, man.
Yeah.
This is a good one. We went all over the place, but this was a good one. Man, we're gonna next week we might have to talk about like the power of that that situation when you went to the church. Like how because that might be a real thing.
Oh, dude, it was a crazy experience.
Trash Talkers, let us know if y'all are interested in what you,
it's starting to sound like our original podcast.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like those people who speak tongues and fall out on the floor, like there has to be.
Dude, it was wild.
It's
wild. I saw it firsthand, dude. It was wild.
Dude, if you listen, I am half black and I grew up in Florence, or raised in Florence, Africa, or born in Florence, raised in Atlanta. Trust me, you've been to a black church before.
Yeah.
Now go to one in the middle of the country. Yeah. I'm talking about it's.
I know
it's
when they get the Holy Ghost, it is crazy.
Was your club you went to? I mean, your club. We're calling the club. Was your church predominantly black?
No, not this one. Not the one with the tongs and everything.
No,
but I've been to one black church where you see them running around and crazy.
Sometimes it'd be turned up.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it'd be, and then they.
Dude, like. Man, it actually is pretty fun in a black church when everybody just gets in the rhythm.
Come on. Dude, that's freaking great.
Dude, you dancing in the aisles.
Yeah. Dude, they be twerking in there now. I'm serious. They be twerking.
See grandma bend over and start breaking it down.
Got the collection plate. Just the collection plate on your grandma.
Pastor runs down with the collection plate.
Come on. Quarters on you.
Grandma Jenkins, come on.
Dude, they got it now to where you can, there's a Cash App on the collection plate.
Yeah, dude, I bet it is.
We'll talk about that another podcast.
Yeah.
You got anything else for me, man?
That's it, man.
This was a good one, guys. And again, thank y'all so much for all the positive reception and all the comments. Leave us some comments down there. And you guys, if you get top three likes on the comments, you will be read on the next podcast. And with that being said, my name's Behringer Hollywood 6. Bye.
I am Larry Smokey Ramirez Cowan.
And we are
over
and
out. Deuces.